one very important thing that is very well noticed that happens to me after every film, intense roles, is that the way I dress up changes. Because I came from outside, because nobody really had any expectations out of me. I just don't like sometimes when people refer to outsider as, probably child of less God. It just looked at as like, like someone a step down. Okay, you are an outsider, or the outsiders are always the victims. When I started, I didn't have that many choices. I was always told that an actress's shelf life, the prime of her time, is only 5 to 7 years. There have been a lot of films of mine where we've reached out to male actors, and there have been a clear-cut answer saying, no, this is a Taapsee film, I don't want to do this.
Hi Taapsee, welcome to the Quint. Congratulations on your first production, Blurr. Why did you pick a thriller as your first production?
Honestly, this was not at all planned. We were actually, me and Pranjal, my partner, we were both toying with a lot of different ideas, but this was definitely not one of them. It so happened that I'd already said yes to Vishal when he brought the script to me. And just before, a few months before it was supposed to go on floor, I thought, it'll be nice if I can step in, because it's a very controlled film. So I wanted to step in to be a part of it more than just an actor.
So, you have starred in like thrillers, and this one also is a thriller. So, can we now say thriller is one of your favorite genres?
Actually, thriller is, I think, one of the most massy genre, I'll say. Why I say this is because today, anything that keeps the audience glued for like, say, 2 hours is what works for them, right? That's all they want, to keep them engaged, to keep them interested in the film. So I think thriller and comedy are these two genres which I feel are very massy genre according to me, because it just engages you throughout and the audience is with you and they're guessing it with you in case of thrillers, right? So if written well, if directed well, I think thrillers is probably one of the most popular genre, I can say. So I've been by God's grace, been very successful with thrillers.
So you were just mentioning how this film is very deep on so many levels. It's not just a thriller. It also delves into like the mental health of especially your character Gayatri. So do you feel with content evolving so much nowadays, films and shows are more like are starting a conversation rather around mental health?
I think they are, because when it comes to layering a character, you have to explore the mental layers of a character. There is no other way you can layer a character, and nowadays audience wants to be engaged at more than one level, not just as a surface story level. They want to be engaged more with not just your protagonist but your supporting cast's mental state as well, because that keeps them busy guessing then that which character will bring in what. So not just with Blurr, I feel every film, even now when I pick up a film and I'm reading a script, when I'm working on a script with my writer-directors, I always want to know more about the mental state of each character, because I feel that helps you add so much of more engagement from an audience.
But does it get exhausting when you have been part of other films as well, where like the characters are fragile, are so flawed in their own ways?
It does burn me out mentally. And that's the reason why I think after Blurr, which was pretty heavy and difficult for me mentally, I did go very slow. I did a out and out comedy film after this, Wo Ladki Hai Kahan, and post that I did Donkey, and I'm doing relatively lighter stuff for some time, because I realized that giving into these characters and trying to own them up, because I don't know any other way to perform than to psychologically psych myself into believing that this is me and this is happening with me.
When you're speaking about getting into the psyche of a character in your routine life, do you kind of subconsciously imitate the characters, like small quirks or small habits?
In real life, yes. So every character I perform, because I perform at a goal, like I finish the film start to end. So 30-40 days of living that life, which is not really mine, changes something for good in me. So a lot of things stay with me. They're not, I want to wash it out, but it doesn't. So one very important thing that is very well noticed that happens to me after every film, intense roles, is that the way I dress up changes.
Could you give us an example?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Like, see, after I did Haseen Dilruba, I started enjoying and loving wearing sarees more. So after I did Rashmi Rocket, I've never been a gym person before that, but today I cannot miss a single day of gym. That something in me changes for good.
Coming to your production house, Outsiders Films, would you say that this name is a reflection of your journey in the industry?
It is. It is sort of a payback, if you can term it so, because I have always felt very happy and proud of the fact that I came out of nowhere. I've really, I think that is what has worked for me, because I came from outside, because nobody really had any expectations out of me. So, when you don't expect anything from a person, that person does well, it is just like, wow, right? The same way, being an outsider helped me see life with my own eyes in such a real way that it reflects in my interpretation of characters I play. So I'm very, very proud of being an outsider. And for me, I just don't like sometimes when people refer to outsider as, probably child of less God. It just looked at as like, like someone a step down. Okay, you are an outsider, or, the outsiders are always the victims. And I didn't like the whole perception of this word outsider. So when it was during the same time that I was brainstorming as to what should be the name, because we had thought of the idea of becoming producers, me and Pranjal together a while back, but we just didn't register a name. So that's when I decided let's just own it up and start making it look like a positive light.
Coming back to like the kind of projects that you want to green light as a producer, do you have like something in mind?
They'll be in line with the sensibilities of whatever you've seen me doing as an actor so far. Suddenly, I'll not jump into something just because it's commercially more viable. Just because now I'm a producer, I'm the one to be making bucks. So I suddenly like start doing stuff totally different from what people know me for.
Before producing her first film, Alia Bhatt had mentioned that she wants to see like, diverse like writing, new talent, like she wants to offer this platform as a producer. So as a producer, what are you envisioning?
See, I didn't become producer to create opportunities for myself. So it just coincidentally happened that I'm a part of this. But I will prefer it if I can offer opportunity to the people who probably, like how when I started, I didn't have that many choices. I had very few choices to choose from and select and then make my path versus what is available now. How it took me 10 years to be where I am today, I don't want someone who's really deserving to take that long to reach here. It's not like Outsiders is a name, so it is only about outsiders. It's about people who just don't get the right opportunity at the right time.
Back when you started to now, do you see like a distinct change with more and more women taking up the role of like producers?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of difference. Women, not just as producers, in a lot of other fields, even as actors headlining the film. What it was 10 years back, I have given interviews on record where I said I'm only going to be here for 5-7 years and then I'm going to be like choosing some other profession and doing something else, because I was always told that an actress's shelf life, the prime of her time, is only 5 to 7 years. After that, you have to move on to playing supporting roles and playing these just sister bhabhi and all these kind of characters, because very rare you will be one diamond like a Shri Devi who will last for that long. Very rare. So don't consider yourself to be part of an exception always. It's generally 5 to 7 years for a season of an actress. And cut to now, if you see 10 years, I still feel like there's so much more I'm exploring that I can probably go on for however long I would want to today. So that itself has changed in front of my eyes. So hence a lot of roles behind the camera also, be it as a director, cinematographer, producer, all the other HODs as well. Like I remember when I shot Rashmi Rocket, there was a female DOP, Neha Parthi, on set. And she was 5 months pregnant when she was shooting the film for me. And that was such a heavy outdoor film. And all those myths of women not being able to, handle the outdoor pressure of this kind of heavy, physically heavy job is, I think, is just a myth now. Like when we shot Dhak Dhak, which is our next production, we have 4 leading ladies there on bike from Delhi to Leh. We had such heavy female crew there, and all of these women, like it was easy to get them all together because they all just wanted so badly to, to get out and to prove those myths wrong. I think it was their energy that drove the film from Delhi to Leh.
Of course, and that brings us to like the evolution of like, the hero and the anti-hero. They are no longer these macho, larger than life characters. They are very real. We can relate to them. So what do you have to say about about this evolution?
I think it's all thanks to the relatable cinema that has come in lately. Today, audience, yes, it's an escape to reality in a lot of cases where people just want to go there and forget what's there in real life and the real people. But you also have takers for cinema which helps you relate and feel like this could be me. And I think that is the reason why a lot of actors like me exist. We have an audience. We have some relevance. Is because I'm not your larger than life actor, or the characters I portray are not larger than life. They are very those. I never called myself as a diva, or I've never visualized myself as a diva who just stepped from heavens. And there's so many others who are gorgeous and who are doing that job really well. I'm not that, but the fact that I'm still here, still doing movies, is the validation of the cinema that is more relatable, because everybody knows, this is Kalyug.
Also, I mean, in these days, we have also seen so much of meticulous attention being paid to each and every character. The development, it's not like it's just one actor, even though they are shouldering the movie, but the side characters are also so important, right?
I think that's what makes the film. You see, there'll be one driver of the film, and then there'll be the other characters who hold the film. These are the pillars of the film. If you see Blurr, you might look at me and say, okay, she is the driver of the film. But the other characters that are present there, be it Gulshan, be it everyone in the film, they are the real pillars of the film who are holding the film. So, and I realized that more and more after working with the kind of directors I've worked with, be it Anurag, Anubhav sir, Sujoy, all of these directors taught me one thing: the kind of detailing and that they put in their supporting characters is what I learned that truly makes a film that lasts the test of time. That's why I tell you that creatively I'm satisfied with the work I do, because 10 years down the line, when you look back at these films, I think I'll be still so proud and happy about the kind of content I did. I might not be happy about the result of it right now. This is the new type of characters being written, the new type of stories being written, where it is now become a passe to think of it. ये तो supporting है, तो मतलब he'll just do the regular 4 lines and just go. No, they are the ones holding the film actually.
And that also speaks about the sense of security, right? There has to be an entire secure space where there would be no ego clash.
Yeah, because they don't have as much of screen space, or they are not the one fighting the villain in the end, or like it's there are a lot of different weird reasons, but I've heard those reasons like first hand, not even hearsay. So we do have such people, and then we do have people like Gulshan, who step in and say, I'm okay playing the husband. I know the limitations of the character, and I'm going to make the most of it.
How has this year been for you?
See, it has been creatively, if you ask me, I'm very glad of the films that I've picked up. There's only so much an actor can do, and there are certain things that are beyond my control, because filmmaking is a team process. Where I take the responsibility is, did I choose the right content, the right subject? Did I do my job well enough? If you ask me about these two aspects, then it has been a creatively satisfying year. But if you ask me about the other aspects of the performance of a film, that's not just dependent upon my work, unfortunately. So there's not much I can do in that scope, and I'm also coming to terms with that with more films I do, because when you've worked so hard on a film and it looks so good, sometimes it's difficult to wrap your head around why and how can it not do as good as you think it is. So it'll take you a while to get used to it. But then, as I said, I need to accept the fact that there's only so much an actor can do being a part of a film. Yeah, and I've learned to get satisfied with the fact that I have done a good job. Now, it's a variable of a lot of other things that decide how if a film works at the box office or no.
Thank you so much. Thank you
so
for
much.
speaking
Thank you
to
so much.
us.